Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you. It is May the 6th today, 2026. And we're going to be diving into some really interesting, well, I think it's interesting stuff. But I thought because there are a few people here who don't know me, and maybe some people who haven't heard my story before, I thought I'd tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm going to start off with that. And so basically, I've been guided by periodic visions since I was 7 years old. That's when I have my first vision that I recall, anyway. And by 15, I began my search to understand why I was here, and nobody could answer those questions for me at all. It was most frustrating. Dove into a big depression about that. It just, nothing made sense to me. And yeah, since then, or since 15, I guess in my early 20s, I began having a number of profound experiences that left me knowing that there was so much more to life than what I was presently experiencing. So I was on a mission to get back there my whole life. And those experiences have very much kept me on the spiritual path. I was left with this feeling of beyond words description of love, of bliss, of words pale compared to the actual experience. And it was so beautiful. And I knew there was way more. And I had to get back there. So I dove into the spiritual material. Once I found out it was there, I met uh, another Karen. There's so many in my life. Her mom was into all this stuff. She introduced me to Edgar Casey, and through that, I learned about the Silva mind control method, which where I learned how to meditate and psychic healing and all kinds of really cool stuff, and took tons of courses. And I had a number of visions and visitations, especially from my grandfather in dreams dreams that weren't dreams, telling me that I needed to understand patterns and emotions. And that's kind of been my mission for 45 plus years. And as a result, I've learned a whole lot about it. So what we're going to be doing tonight is sharing a little bit with that about that with you. And feel free to pop any questions in the chat. And once I finish this sort of presentation, I'll check the questions. So patterns are so cool. Basically, in my understanding, all manifest creation is a compilation of patterns on many, many levels of expression. So we've got patterns upon patterns upon patterns. If you think about the human body, it's it's we've got patterns of like the cells that make up the organs, and those organs all work together, and they're patterns that are working in concert with other patterns to create this big pattern that here in this form is Karen, and your own personality structure. So yeah, we're patterns. Now, when we get triggered, as I'm sure you've all heard and understand, our higher reasoning brain is hijacked and flooded with cortisol. We're unable to think clearly. It's like we're hypnotized, stuck in this loop, and we're just looping, 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 and we're in this frenetic energy. And this energy, it's like for me, I have a lot of horse riding people, racers and riders in my family. And I tried. It didn't do very well. They like to toss me off. So anyway, my perfect example is being on a horse on a track, no stirrups, hanging on for dear life while I'm looping around this track. And when you're in that intense fear, you're completely unable to look left or right and see, oh, there's life beyond the track. I've got other choices here. There's other opportunities. But when we're hypnotized, we can't see the forest for the trees. And then Or it might feel like you're on a roller coaster, again, totally out of control, and looping, doing that looping thing, and we're completely caught. So when we're triggered and stuck in this loop, we're unable to think clearly. We don't have enough energy available to notice that there's life beyond the track, roller coaster, or pattern. We're too busy holding on for dear life, and we're unaware that there are choices that exist beyond this pattern. So, how do we get free from a pattern? And I was taught in my earlier years that the way is repetition. So that's like affirmations, repeating, focused attention upon what you want to experience, emotionalization, feeling it. And since then, I've learned about the transmutation piece. Now, oh, is that how do I deal with that? Let me just see. Okay, so this is an image of indicating that we are multidimensional beings, and this is only like scratching the very surface of it. So if you think of water or an ice cube, take an ice cube, you put it in a pot, and initially it's ice. You put the heat on, it raises the frequency into water, so it begins to melt. Eventually, that water becomes mist or cloud, right? You can see the steam rising, and eventually it turns invisible. And the words for that is corporeal, astral, and etheric. Now, if you look at the physical form, we've got physical form, physical body. We do things in our body, we perform actions, and the physical body is influenced very much by instinct, right? The fight or flight. And we compile physical objects to build a material thing, i.e. doing construction. Now at the astral level, that's the mental level of consciousness, or mental emotional level of consciousness. It's the realm of the ego, the psychological, the personality structure. In this realm, we deal with thoughts and emotions. And as an example, the ways that I was taught initially to shift out of patterns was, repeat, use the affirmations, using your thoughts, using your feelings or emotions. But oh my gosh, through concentration, repetition, emotionalization, right? It would, but as we all know, that doesn't always work. And what I came to understand was that through the creative process, the big idea is to connect up into the etheric level. And that's the energetic level of awareness, where you select ideas to create an image. And this is where you get into the feeling of the imagination. So as an example, from the NLP work, if you think of your bedroom, you can visualize yourself in your bedroom, sitting on your bed, or you can actually imagine that you're in your body, in your bedroom, sitting on your bed, looking out through your eyes. That sitting on the bed, looking out through your eyes, I refer to as the associated position. And that is that's where we want to get to, is when we're imagining how we want to be, is connecting with that associated position, right? So, and that impresses not just the etheric level, but also the astral, the mental, emotional, as well as the physical. Now, you, the awareness, can identify with any of those levels of consciousness. You are essentially unmanifest, and you, the awareness, the soul being, the essence, choose what thoughts, feelings, ideas, patterns you want to identify with. So now taking that into the pattern situation, a pattern, I've learned, is composed of many parts or aspects. And a limiting belief that most of us resonate with way too much is I'm not enough. That's why I used it, this particular one. Now, this not enough, that's a belief at the conscious level as well as the unconscious level. So it's a mental belief as well as emotional. It's probably been impressed through upsetting experiences. So that's in our field. So, example, memories of failing in life. So, that might be connected to shame, embarrassment around, not being good enough, not being, oh gosh, failing at a class. Maybe when you're a little kid in gymnastics or a sport, you didn't do well. That's that's all in your field. And to release this limiting belief of not enough, we also have to release all this stuff. Now, luckily, we don't have to go through every single belief in order to release that, or every single experience, I should say, because of the law of resonance. Or you may be more familiar with that same concept of law of attraction. Now, the law of attraction basically states that if and I've tested this. It was years back. I was running a group work, and we were clearing anger. And what I would do is I had people write down 3 incidents that really bother them, that make them angry, and rate those experiences on a scale of 0 to 10. So then we went through and we cleared only one of the 3 incidences, and it was so fascinating when I went back and I had people check in after the clearing, check in on a scale of 0 to 10. How does it feel now? 0 being neutral, doesn't bother me, 10 being, oh my God. In, I don't know, it was 95, 97% of the people, their experiences were reduced. Not necessarily to 0, but they were reduced, so that those things we didn't even touch, just through resonance, because it was that same frequency, it shifted. So then I began to wonder, well, why the heck did that shift and this one not shift? And as I explored it more deeply, I found that, say for example, anger, an experience with anger, there, in that experience there could also be the experience of hurt. Okay, so if we cleared that anger hurt energy, the other experiences that also had that combination would also clear. But if there was anger and, say, shame, another experience that had anger and shame, that wouldn't move very much on the scale because there wasn't a deep resonance. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. So back to this limiting belief stuff. So when we have a limiting belief that we're not enough, that can result in indecision and confusion, low self-confidence, low self-esteem. It can also feel physically or energetically like when you think of something happening when you're not enough, it can feel like a kick in the gut and not feel good at all. There can also be past life memories of failing. Oh, this is the wrong. Oh, well, that's okay. Failing, as an example, say, for example, you were in male form and you had a family. And because of your failure to provide, i.e., go and kill a deer, you lost a loved one as a result. So there would be, guilt and shame and all that around it as well. So then at the ancestral and human collective level, all of our ancestors, they've been human, so for sure they've got ancestral memory of failing, which also resonates with the whole human collective as an entire group. Then we've also got the negative self-talk and the self-loathing. When we make a mistake and we go through that, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, what's the matter with me? Why can't I get this right? Da 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 da, fill in all those blanks. And then there's the emotional upset, anger, frustration, powerlessness to change, not enough. So it's all these pieces stick together, come together to create this I'm not enough belief that we often, most of us, hold for within ourselves. And to clear them, we have to clear all these pieces. And so often I have people coming to me that say, oh my gosh, I thought I dealt with this, and yeah, we did. And then yeah, I'm sure you did deal with it, but there were other pieces that needed to be addressed. So, um, oh yes. So, and then what I found is that each be underlying each aspect is a part of ourselves that's been wounded. Something that hurt us. So, to approach ourselves from a very patriarchal, power over, take control, ship up or shape out kind of attitude actually causes more hurt. And what we really need is for real transformation, is to approach ourselves with love. I've found that these patterns, approaching them with love and acceptance, is the fastest way back to wholeness, back to our own center, back to our core. Again, using the old patriarchal approach of power over, pushing, forcing, or using your will, it never, for me, it never created lasting results, because whenever my attention relaxed, boom, the old pattern would reassert itself. And for as long as I was, using that kind of sergeant, take control and beat myself back into submission, that I was adding another layer of pain and hurt and rejection. And man, I could be mean, and just like, wow, yeah. So then all that had to be healed up. So when we release aspects of a pattern, we automatically rise in consciousness. So if you look at a pattern as the negative polarity, once that's released, you come back to your center. And when you're in your center, you're able to shift up in consciousness. When you're caught up in the loop, you're caught up in a loop. You can't see beyond beyond that loop, right? You can't see. And there's, even if you can, you're still like, you're upset inside. And there's so much freneticness. You just can't get centered and calm. Well, that's not exactly true. It may take a day or two or three, but for permanent release, it's about shifting that negative polarity to your center, and then you automatically shift up in consciousness. So we'll look at these two pieces as two patterns. So the green is one pattern. So once you shift that green, you move up to the red level. Then once you shift out of that red pattern, you move up to here. So you're, with every release, you're raising your frequency. And the cool thing about that is, I used to be really difficult for me to go into the city, as an example, being the empath that I am. And what would happen is I'd go in, and not like I'd be going out clubbing or anything like that. I just go, for dinner with a girlfriend at her house. So like, it was clean energy. But oh man, I'd come back and I'd just be a mess for 2, 3 days, until I got into this work and began shifting my patterning, and I worked really hard at it. And I found that if, eventually it was like, oh my gosh, I'm fine when I go visit my friend. And I was so amazed, and I began inquiring, like, why was that? And what I came to understand, again, this law of resonance acting out, or acting in, out, acting upon me, is I would go into the city, and if you imagine you've got a whole pile of people there that are angry, upset, worried, fearful, and that concentration of it's almost like a cloud of energy of upset. I'd go into that when I went to visit my girlfriend. And when I went in at the unconscious level, I would begin to vibrate. And even though I wasn't consciously so much aware that I was kind of upset or bothered, I was. And that would affect me at the unconscious level. Once that was cleared, I'd go in and those energies could pass right on through because there was nothing in me that resonated with that anymore. So that was like, oh my God, such a blessing. So freeing. Malls, another thing. I can actually go shop. I actually enjoy shopping now on occasion. Not my favorite thing, but still, you know, before I used to, oh, I have to go shopping. And I didn't like it at all. So when you're clear, when you think about the issue that was bothering you, notice, or you know you're clear when you think about the issue that was bothering you. And when you think about it now, notice what thoughts and feelings arise. If there's still an emotional charge, even a little one, there's still more to release. There's one of those arms or aspects that need to go. If you find that you don't feel anything or you feel neutral, then you know you're free from that patterning. Okay. And so what's actually happened? So that frenetic looping, what's happened is that was released out of your field. And as a result, there was more space that was created within your personality structure. Now there's more of you present in your physical experience. So what that basically means, how I understand it and experience it, and many of my clients have fed this, talked about this with me, is that once something's cleared, it's like, they can take a deeper breath. They're more comfortable in their skin. They're more present in their physical experience. And because there's this space, it's like more of their essence can come in. More of your essence can come in and be here now. And when you're in your center, and when you're in your center, you have access to your innate intelligence, or you could say your higher self or your soul being. And it's not like you have to think, oh, I have to shift up in consciousness. You just are there now. That's your new normal. And from this new normal, you're able to respond from your center instead of acting from a pre-existing pattern. So rather than being triggered, I had this great experience with a person. I'll just call him a person, and he was really angry at me, and he just went nuts on me, and I kind of sat there and went, huh? And afterwards I was like, wow, because he accused me of a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, that's weird. Like, why would it? And I wasn't phased. Well, how should I deal with this? And I just kind of sat for a few minutes, and I came up with a very logical, reasonable plan. But the coolest thing, I'm really grateful for that experience, because if that had happened before me, because my dad, as a little kid, he used to yell at me like crazy and scare the bejeez out of me, trigger me into this like just deer in the headlights state. And it was so cool to have that experience, to know that I'm free from that old patterning. So that's a blessing when somebody really acts out like that. So what happens when you're clear and free from a pattern? You're no longer triggerable. Yay. You have access to your innate wisdom and solutions that were not available until now. And you're automatically and naturally more compassionate, resilient, resourceful, and boundaried. And what I mean by that is you have healthy boundaries in relation to other people when they overstep. So, yeah, totally cool. So, bottom line, with every release, you automatically connect more and more fully to your innate essence, your power, and your wisdom. And that's the intention underlying all of my work, that you connect to who you are and take on your own power, connect to your own brilliance and beauty and magnificence and purpose and all that awesome stuff. So, yeah. So, oh, right. Oh, okay. So, if you haven't worked with me since 2020, the results of my work have changed enormously in the past 6 years. So, you may want to engage in a free discovery session where we can talk about what challenges you're experiencing, how I may be able to help you. And of course, we'll discuss reasonable expectations and answer any questions that may arise. Or if you haven't worked with me at all, then definitely look into that free discovery session. And I'll just, oh, how do I do that? So wait, I have to do this. My screen sharing is paused. Oh no. Okay. So, let me go to, I want to share another thing. So I just want to show you where to go on my website. There we go. So if you go to, wrong thing. If you go to, I'll go to the home. So if you go to KarenHeywood.com, click on private sessions, which is right here, and scroll down to book a session and for new clients. And then you'll be asked to fill out a little questionnaire that helps me talk about like really get, it's a starting point to find out, you know, what it is that you're looking for and what you want to be free from. Okay, so let me stop that share. And okay, let me put, I'm just gonna, because it's such a small gathering, I'm gonna unmute everybody or ask everybody to unmute. And if you have a question, feel free to, to just speak up.
I have a question.
Okay, who is that? Diana, yeah, go ahead, please.
So regarding the example you gave where the gentleman was very angry at you,
Yeah.
how did you deal with that in specific, if you're able to tell me or to tell us?
Oh, sure. Basically, I just sat there in surprise and shock when he was just like bleh, vomiting anger all over me. And because I grew up with a very angry dad, I kind of know you don't, when somebody's in that state, it's not, they're not open to listening. They just want to their perspective, and it's like, okay, whatever. But the cool thing was I didn't feel it like I used to. Before, it used to just do me right in. Oh, I should show you all this wonderful Star Trek snippet. Let me just get it. Give me one sec. It graphically illustrates this principle so beautifully.
Perfect.
So let me just hold on. Where do I have to go?
These are Karen's Palladians.
Pardon me?
These are Karen's Palladians.
Karen Ashby's Palladians?
Yeah, Star Trek.
Well, maybe not. Could be anybody.
Trek. Whoops. Okay. Oops, I spelled it wrong. Oh, I have this mic in the way? I can't see. There we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, so just, whoops, stop. Pause. Oh, bugger. I don't know if this is going to work. I am having problems with my, no, it's not. I'm sorry. Oh, it's frozen. Okay, so let me get
Maybe
out
you
of
could
here.
tell us what it was about.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to have to do. Okay, so Come on. Well, I guess I'll come back into focus eventually. I don't quite know why that's happening, but anyway, so basically it's if there is no if there's nothing in you that resonates with it, it just passes right through and you maintain your neutral space. So it's so amazing because, well, I mean, for majority of my life I was triggered like crazy, and to be able to not even be bothered in the least, but just look at this person who was having this hissy fit and look at them and go, like, what's going on? That's so weird. Like, it was weird to me, but, and I didn't even know what he was on about. But to even ask questions was not, he just did his dump and left. It's like, well, okay. So did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, cool. Does anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, Karen.
Sure. Go ahead.
I may have misunderstood, so I'd just like some clarification. I think I heard you say that if you clear one issue, other issues tend to clear as well. Am I correct in that, or did I misunderstand?
That's true to a degree. If what I have observed in when I did these experiments with the group a group is that more often than not, it would shift maybe 1 or 2 points each of their angry issues, but not completely. One did completely, but that was quite unusual. So I guess what I'm trying to say, and thank you for asking that question, Peter, that's excellent, so I can clarify, is that as you're releasing on, say, for example, if anger's a problem for you, and there's a lot of old anger that still you're holding old angers and resentments, that as you work through those, anything that's in resonance with that will also be cleared to a degree. So you don't have to go through each and every one. And I really do feel that that as you move up in that triangle, up in consciousness, that eventually you probably won't even need to go back and clear all that stuff. Like, it's just, if you work on the hard stuff, the rest of it just goes eventually.
Yes,
That's been my experience anyway.
I get the idea that if you clear something, your vibration rises. And if you keep doing
Uh-oh.
that, it'll rise to a point where some of the issues just can't exist in that vibration any longer and they just sort of dissipate.
Yeah, I believe that is the case, or it can become so uncomfortable that it's like in your face. You can no longer avoid it. Like,
Mm.
yeah, I've had that experience as well.
Mm.
Yeah. So but to raise your vibration in my understanding and in the way I've been guided, which God knows there's like lots of ways to do it. So, but this is the way that I resonated with is doing the actual clearing work to let all those go, and that worked really nicely for me.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anybody else have any questions? Okay. So, I'd like to do a guided meditation for you all. And I'm going to put everybody on mute again for this. And what I'd like you to do is to first think about, or let's say recall an experience. And it doesn't have to be a direct experience. And what I mean by that is it could be an experience that you had watching a movie. An emotional experience is what we're looking for. An emotional experience of safety, or let me just write these down for myself. So safety, comfort. Relief is a good one in that it's like it activates that openness. And just remember a time when you felt that. It could have been a vision that you experienced or a time in meditation. Just really focus on that feeling and amplify it in your field. Notice how it feels. And I'd like you to scan your body and notice how you feel, how you experience this feeling in your body. Is it centered in a localized area, your head, chest, or belly? Or it may be in more of an all-over feeling. Just notice what that feels like. Good. And now we're going to shift our attention ever so slightly. I'm going to invite you to just hold the desire and the intention to attune to that beautiful spirit that you are, your guides, your soul family, and all of your friends. And just take a moment and ask them for their assistance wherever and whenever possible and appropriate. And I'm also going to invite you to ask your entourage, all of your beings, to work with mine. And we request that together they create a sacred space that we all can work within, exist within, and that they keep us safe and protected from anyone or anything at any level of consciousness. There we go. And I'd just like you to expand your awareness and notice all the beings who are present here with us tonight. And sense their love, their appreciation for all that we're all doing in our own ways to assist in this planetary shift that we're all undergoing and that Gaia is undergoing. That's it. And just continue to expand that beautiful awareness that you are. And as you do, shift your attention back to that safety, that feeling of safety or comfort or relief or whatever high frequency you are attracted to. That's it. And just breathe. And with each inhalation, draw in more and more of your essence, your life force. And as you exhale, see, feel, sense this life that you are adding to and building and making this frequency even larger and more expansive, this safety, comfort, or relief. That's it. And just breathing in. And releasing. There we go. Meditations such as this are so important during these times, especially. It's like dipping back into the pool of source and getting rejuvenated, reconnected. There we go. And just breathing this brilliance that you are into your human personal self. And as you exhale, expanding your awareness even further. That's it, moving out beyond the room that you're in, seeing, feeling, sensing this beautiful frequency that you're holding, and seeing how it's affecting in a positive way all the physical and non-physical matter, that your light is activating and lightening everything it and you touch. And upon your next exhalation, see, feel, sense this beautiful light that you are touching and positively influencing Mother Earth Gaia, along with all the people upon the planet. And let's take a moment and focus upon those hot spots that are in conflict, and just breathe this harmonious ease and flow, safety and comfort and relief into those hot spots. And I'm going to also invite you to ask your guides and your friends, your spirit friends, to assist in whatever way they can and is possible. And because we're in human form, we can ask, and they won't be going against the prime directive of non-interference, which is excellent. So it's important to ask. Because we're in human form, we can do this. We came here to do this, to be in human form and do this higher work here. That's it. And just breathing and pouring the light, the love, the beautiful essence that you are into it all. However you're moved is right for you, which may be different from the other attendees here tonight, or those who listen to this at a later date. Now I'm going to invite you to ever so gently shift your attention back to your human personality, body structure. And I want you to pour love and appreciation into that beautiful being that you are. And consider how much work he or she is poured into him or herself, how much research, how much studying, how much meditation, how much clearing, and just hold great appreciation for her and all that she's been through, and for him and all that he's been through. We tend to be very hard on ourselves. We expect ourselves to be to be perfect all the time. But the truth is, this is our first time at being human in this realm, at this time, in this place. We might have been human before, but this is the first time in this situation with with this ancestral memory, with these genetics, with this specific body. So it's important to give yourself a break and take time to appreciate you and all the efforts, all the work. By doing so, this helps offset all the negativity in this realm. Beautiful. Now I'm going to invite you to just drop back into your body. Just wiggle around and come back here to this moment, here and now. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Okay, so I'm going to ask to unmute everybody. Oops, sorry. Okay, I think, and I'd love to hear from anyone who would like to share about with what they experienced, how they experienced it.
You have a killer voice, Karen. You got me really deep, and I was gone.
Well, thank you. Actually, it's just so everybody knows, it's not just my voice. I'm actually dropping in myself into those deeper, higher, more expansive places. So I'm actually holding that frequency so that everybody can kind of hitchhike along. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So were you out like a light, Peter, or did you do you recall your
No, not
experience?
like a light, but certainly very deep in alpha, maybe theta.
Nice.
And I guess as a hypnotist, you know, there's that very deep level that we try to achieve. And I think it's been elusive for me historically, but I think I was there today or just now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's
Thank you.
You're very welcome. That's a big deal. Thank you. Thank you. So, was there anyone else who don't have recall of what you experienced? Put your hand up or say yes, or because that used to be a big challenge for me, is because I'm a somnambulist. Somnambulist, is that the right word, Peter?
Yeah, I can never pronounce it, but yes, that's the state you want to get in. I think it's theta, roughly.
Yeah, I'd be gone in an instant, and it's still a bit of a challenge. And what I have found is super fabulous for me is whenever I do meditation, I have my recorder, which looks like this, and
Fix it.
it's got buttons, so I can hit the on button or the off button, and that helps keep me grounded in the physical to a degree instead of gone. And I find that super helpful, so that when I have an experience or see something or feel something, I'll talk it into, I'll record it. And because I mean, a minute later and it'll be gone from my head. As you all know, if you've worked with me, it's like 2 minutes after I've said something, I'll have somebody say something and it's like, it's gone. I don't remember. So hanging out in the higher frequencies, that's a way to help keep you grounded, and so that you benefit from this higher state at the conscious level. You will benefit anyway, but it's a little boring for the personality if you don't remember where you've been, right?
It's actually quite pleasant.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. Okay. Well, yeah, good. Excellent. Does anyone have any questions, or anybody else like to make a comment about anything?
I found that when you were about a third of the way through, that I had this vision of that pyramid that you were showing graphically with the higher consciousness had flipped over and it had inverted itself, and we were all in the top level of that consciousness, being on the bottom of that pyramid, which was now on the top, if you understand what I'm saying.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And so we were all there, the beings were all there, and it was like the collective was like this instead of this way, so it wasn't, it was a complete reversal because the collective was taking itself out into the ethers, and we were all together, whether we were off-planet beings or we were human beings or we were anything else on the planet, in the planet. And it was just so beautiful to see that, because it was so indicative of where we're going.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice. Thank you. That's beautiful. Thank you, Karen.
Yeah, well, I
Love it.
thank my higher self, or whoever was helping that along. It was great.
Well, but you also have to thank yourself at the human personality level, because you're a great receiver. And otherwise, we would have missed out on all that. So we all thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome.
Well, I've had the experience of hypnotizing both Karens, and I happen to know you're just very good subjects for it. You go deeply, quickly, and yeah. So I'm sure you get more from it than maybe the average person.
Oh, I don't know about that. Well, and
No,
also,
definitely not.
pardon
Okay.
me?
No, definitely not. I had to stop listening to certain types of music because of how easily I go into hypnosis and those somnambulistic states. But I actually put the link that, because Karen, you sent me that link for that episode, so I put it in the chat.
Oh, thanks. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's my computer that's not functioning well. That's the
yeah.
problem. Thank you. Oh, great. Yeah, so people can check it out at home. You can download the chat. Where's the chat? Chat. Yeah. Oh, why is that not? Dang it. I'm going to get the hang of this soon. Oh, there we go. Okay, awesome. Yeah. So, apparently, I just learned this the other day, is what you can do is there's 3 dots up by where you see Karen Heywood's monthly gathering above the chat, and you can save the chat. So you can save all these links. And oh yeah, I was also going to put the link in for the discovery session. So let me do that now. Thank you for reminding me to do that. Brilliant. Okay, so there's the discovery session link. That'll make it a bit easier too, if anyone's interested in that. So, Okay, does anybody have any questions about or like to share your experience? Teresa, how did your experience go there?
Um, I was definitely up there. I was actually just thinking more about the anger piece and just sort of how rather than it kind of passing through me, I just have my protection where it's like, it's not even going
Mm.
anywhere near me, right? And it's just, um, I'm fighting to stay grounded these days. It's
Pardon?
really been. I'm fighting. Sorry, trying a different headset, but I don't know if it's any better. I'm fighting to stay grounded these days because, sort of the more transcendent states are a lot more pleasant. So it's just kind of. I did really, based on one of the sessions we had, not I don't know, the past couple months, it was sort of that. Sort of. How do I explain it? Um, It's kind of like in Snow White when the queen kind of gets really big, but rather than evil energy, it's sort of more of like a calming, like soothing, like let's just everybody just over those hot spots you were talking about. And so that was kind of my focus.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, beautiful. Good. And Marty, would you like to talk about your experience?
Um, sure. I'm I'm not even sure where to start. I've done so much work on myself. I was looking for a topic to work on, and I couldn't choose one. So what happens with all the energies that are coming to Earth these days? My nervous system is being quite frazzled for days and days at a time. And during this meditation, when we all got together, with your like Peter was saying, with your voice, it all calmed down, right? And we could be centered
Good.
and
Mm.
yeah, have some quiet for a minute.
Yeah. So that, unfortunately, that frazzle is indicative of our lives here upon the planet, and we're in resonance with that uncomfortable frequency. And the cool thing is we don't even have to know where that frazzle came from.
Okay.
That can be transmuted, that can be shifted so that you can be present in this world and not be negatively affected by it, which is a huge blessing. It's like that's kind of, I guess, my goal is to become as a master so that I can walk down a crazy street and not be upset. I can, and it's yeah, just let those energies pass right through and not be frazzled by it. Not there yet, but working on it.
Getting there, yes.
Yeah.
It was kind of the message that I got to earlier today, is that we're naturally wired to fear change, and this is a huge change. So the nervous system doesn't know, and it just activates on its own, but because we don't know what is coming.
Yeah, and that, in my understanding, that is okay. So the Earth has gone through many resets, we'll say, where it's been we as humanity have hit a certain level of consciousness, but because we were not in alignment, we weren't in harmony, and we ended up taking ourselves out in one way or another. Okay, and not just in on the Earth plane, but in other systems. The plate, maybe not the Pleiadians, but the Orion Wars have come up a lot in my sessions with people. Um, Atlantis is another one, and this it's at the ancestral level. Even though we don't have direct memory, or we might have not even had a life in those experiences, like a past life, it's at the ancestral level. We're feeling that something bad's coming, something bad's coming, and that's what we want to clear, is all that ancestral memory, so that we're not affected by this old memory that comes up. And as we clear it for ourselves here, I think of us light workers like acupuncture needles in the earth. And as we clear it for ourselves, we become an even more powerful direct channel for that higher consciousness. We become a clearer channel, and our bodies are of Gaia. So we're also assisting Gaia in her transition. Not that she needs any help, but do what we can. And by shifting that ancestral memory, we're adding that calm, that soothing, safety, comfort, relief feeling to the collective. And through our meditations, we can amplify that and push that out to help even more people. Yeah. Okay. Any question? Anybody else? Diana, would you like to talk about what you went through there?
Sure. Can you hear me well? I had to
Perfect.
go on to my phone. So it was really cool. So the angelic beings or the galactic beings took my spirit / holographic self higher and higher and higher away from my physical body with its attributes and negative attributes, and they just lifted me up higher, 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 higher. Like somebody else said, when you reverse the pyramid, you're at the top. So yeah, that's exactly right. So we went higher and higher and higher, and I was able to look down at my physical body and disconnect from that. And that was a place where I went so higher and higher with them. And they said, this is where you can heal and love. So, and then when you went to the part about Earth, I was hugging the Earth. It's very beautiful. Very beautiful. Very beautiful.
Nice. Thank you.
Sure.
Wonderful. And Jermaine, would you like to talk about what you experienced there?
I'm disappointed. I was in and out. I have a cat here who I think was attracted to your voice and kept coming and wanting to get my attention. So I'm looking forward to listening to the recording to go a little bit more deeply. But it was very nice.
Oh, good.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Yeah, cats and dogs love critters. Oh my gosh, I was I live north of the city, and my sofa's in front where I do all my work is in front of big sliding glass doors. And so I've got my eyes closed and I'm doing my work on the phone with a client, and I open my eyes and there's a coyote looking
Wow.
in midday looking in at me. It's like they love the energy. So yeah, birds, they'll come and look chippies. I love those little guys. They're fun. Yeah. So I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Yeah. He wanted to be a part of it.
Yep, they do. Love those guys. And Danielle. Oops. Hold on. There we go. Maybe. I'm asking for you to unmute, but I guess that's not working for some reason. Okay. All right. So let me just take a look and see if there's something else. What's this? Oh, right. The discovery session. Oh, right. I have a course coming up, and let me just switch to, how do I do that again? Share. That's what I have to do. Okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah, it's called Intuition, Trusting Yourself. It's a 6-week course. And in this work, it's 2 hours. It's going to be held Wednesday, beginning June 10th at 11 a.m. in the morning, Eastern Time. And this is part of a series that I'm creating to teach people to do basically what I do. So when it first, when I was first, like my beings were like telling me this, and people were asking me to put together a course, and I was like, oh, I don't know how to do that. Like it's totally intuitive. So the first step is teaching people how to really not only access your intuition, because most of you here have been working on that. The key is trusting it and knowing how to, if you will, test it and make those discernments. So first of all, we're going to be learning. So it's a 6-week course, 2 hours per week. And first of all, we're going to be gaining a deeper understanding of the technology that we were each born with and how to use it. We're going to learn how to discern between the mental chatter and true intuition, discern between truth and lies, which is super handy when it comes to media, in business, relationships, etc. How to discern others' intentions toward us, towards the world, as in like political leaders, that sort of stuff, so that we can maintain our center and know what's true. So we'll also be learning how to, we'll also be learning how to structure your questions so that you'll be able to better interpret the answers you receive. This is so important. We're going to learn how to structure directives to ensure healing, success, safety, support, basically whatever you desire. So what I mean by directives is, as an example, to put the directive into your spirit that I'm in the right place at the right time, I'm safe, that kind of stuff, so that you are in the right place at the right time, so that you are safe. And rather than, I can't think of a rather than in this moment, but that's a really good directive to put into yourself. So through the 6 weeks, we're going to be doing a bunch of different exercises that, bottom line, are going to be teaching you that you can trust what you get. You're going to be repeatedly accessing your intuition. So, and you're going to get clear on what your intuition looks like, feels like, and sounds like for you. And you're going to learn how to make those discernments. We're going to talk about the use of divination tools, as in pendulum, oracle cards, rune stones. They are super handy. They act like training wheels, and as you create a direct, until you create a direct line to yourself, to your own knowing. And there's also going to be lots of time for Q&A. So one of my pet peeves is, as I was involved in, spiritual growth, was always, people spout off great ideas that you should be this and you should be that. And I'm like, yeah, but how the hell do you do it? So my work is always about, and that was another kind of pet peeve. It's like, well, I don't want to teach, because I always thought teaching was about that, about, telling people what they should be doing. And it finally, spirit got through my head that no, it's not that. I'm going to be acting as your guide, just as I do in the one-on-one sessions, if you feel moved to do this. And it's going to be limited to 10 people maximum. So it begins June 10th. And, oh, I should put that, hold on, in the chat as well. That link. And, okay, so let me go back to, how do I do that? Sorry, guys. Okay, stop share. There we go. Okay, there's the link, and this time I'm going to share, I think, no, that's the PowerPoint. There we go. I'm going to share the intuition course. So this is what the page looks like. And to get here, you go to courses, right down to, oopsies, to intuition, trusting yourself. And that'll bring you to this page. And then you just hit the yes, register me. And it's $333 USD. And that's a pretty, whoopsies, amazing price for 6 weeks of work. Okay. Now. Oh dear. Okay, stop sharing. I did that already. Now I want to share. I think I want to share this again and just see where have I finished. No, wrong one. Dang it. Okay, I'm gonna close that. And I'm gonna, oops. Okay, I'm gonna go here. This is what I want. Okay. Okay. Oh, that was the end of the slides. Okay, great. So does anybody have any questions about any of that information that I have shared with you? Just gonna, oops. Okay, here. Sorry, I'm back. Okay. No questions? Oops. Okay.
Sorry, I just unmuted. If our schedule changes, are the sessions recorded for the course?
Oh, yes, they are.
Okay.
They are. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay.
Aaron, if you can send me a couple of paragraphs, short ones, I'll get them in the newsletter to the channelers.
No, thank you. That'd be fantastic.
I figured out how to get an image in there too. So if you have an image, send it along.
Oh, I do have images. Yes, thank you. Wonderful. Cool. So does anybody have any questions about anything they'd like to pick my brain or pick?
Can you hear me?
What's that?
Can you hear me?
I can, yeah.
Okay, cool. Just I started off the call by getting exceptionally triggered simply because my Zoom doesn't work again. I've been battling with Zoom now for weeks, right?
Oh, God.
Then you started talking about what triggered you, which of course triggered me because
Yeah.
I'm part of that whole thing.
Yeah.
Which then also triggered the fact that, my surroundings in this evening, like, I'm kind of hiding out in a room because it's so loud around here. It's all this stuff going on. So we came to session. I was kind of like in my head, like 100%, like trying to not be angry, not be triggered, and just take advantage of it. But it's like this mental argument going on, right? So I did manage to get to a point of just sort of being able to take a deep breath and feel centered, but that was normally my sessions are pretty amazing, right? So do you have a sort of tip, or somebody else have a tip and so forth when you're in that sort of state, like what you can do to sort of, pop out of that state, because it's so annoying. It's like-
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And it's so to shift out of it immediately is the Silva approach that I learned back in the 80s with the cancel
Right.
is, and I think what I would do in that case is notice where I feel this in my body, this trigger. Is it in the head, chest, belly, back, shoulders? Where is it? And then just cancel. And in that moment, it's like you have to, unfortunately, you kind of have to use a more aggressive kind of patriarchal approach in that moment until you're able to take a deep breath and boom, be back in your center. Otherwise, it's just kind of a bit of a band-aid that you're putting on. Does anyone else have any suggestions?
Haha.
Haha.
This is what I talk
Teresa.
about every day, multiple times a day. So you can rub an ice cube on your forehead. It'll shift you out of the fight, flight, freeze, fold. You can also do a neurovascular head hold, which is basically this, where you're just holding your head in the middle and on your forehead, or if that's a problem, you can grasp the back of your neck to sort of ground yourself and shift you out of the fight, flight, freeze, fold, or just a hand on the heart and hand on the belly to calm the vagus nerve down. That's the most gentle out of all of those in terms of shifting you back into the present.
Great suggestions, Teresa. Thank you.
Right.
How do they feel, Karen?
I mean, it resonates because I mean, I just got this extreme pain in my right shoulder in the process, right?
Aw,
Just to add to it all.
damn. You need a big ol' hug.
Yeah.
Giraffe.
Another
Thank you.
Band-Aid, sometimes, Karen, when we're caught up in a negative spiral or we want to get out of it, if you have a memory that brings a smile to your face from the past, well, I guess all memories are from the past, just something that really makes you feel good. Then when you catch yourself going down that spiral of negativity, say to yourself, switch and go immediately to that scene or event that puts that smile on your face. That can change the vibration. Now, it's also a Band-Aid. I think you need some serious clearing quite often. And, that's maybe the more thorough way to address it. But in the short run, a lot of people report that seems to work pretty well.
Thank you.
Thanks, Peter. That's a great suggestion. Good stuff. Brilliant. That's what I love about this type of venue is that we can draw upon everyone's wisdom and experience to share and help with each other. So thank you all. Does anyone else like to add to anything or ask any questions?
Sorry, the other thing Colette Baron Reed has this meditation about, jumping on this bird and kind of getting distance from a situation. So that might be something to, I mean, it takes about 10 or 15 minutes and that's not fast enough for you. But even, kind of like what Peter was suggesting, is kind of shifting perspective is giving yourself some distance by imagining yourself hopping on a bit, maybe you're a Pegasus or who knows whatever resonates for you, but just kind of imagining yourself, giving yourself some distance from what's happening.
Yeah. Dragon.
Dragon, yes.
Cool. Thank you. Well, thank you all so much for your presence here tonight, and I look forward to connecting with you again in the future sometime, if and when the time is right. And I wish you all tons of love and light and good stuff on your path. So thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
Thank you.
Big hug.
Big hug to you all. Night, night.